100%.
All right, and then I'm also going to share my screen. I'm going to share this screen. All right. And there are can you all give me the thumbs up if you can see my screen?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Good, good, good. That's what we like. All right. I am going to go ahead and get started. So welcome, everyone to our Dollars for Scholars Connect session. I have a lot of things to share with you this evening, and we're going to hear from a couple of our chapters. And so, and then I hope we'll have time to kind of do some informal sharing at the end. So, want to acknowledge my colleague, Deb Fickner. She is the one that you all hear from often. And so Deb is on the line, on the meeting with us today as well. So what I would like us to do to start out, I want to share with you the agenda. First of all, if you would please put your name and the name of your Dollars for Scholars in the chat, as well as any exciting plans or activities or fundraisers or events that your Dollars for Scholars has upcoming this summer. I have got to tell you all, I was so blessed to be able to attend Excel Beyond 211's celebration last evening, and it was just a wonderful event. If we have time, I'll let Nancy share a little bit about that, but just a wonderful program celebrating their graduates and their mentors. They have a great mentoring program where they truly support their students throughout their college education. And so just to hear the feedback from the students, how much the scholarship meant, but even more than that, just how much having the support of their mentors meant to them. So just a wonderful event. So I want to hear about the wonderful events that you all have going on. So if you'll please share that with us in the chat, I would greatly appreciate it. And then just to give you an overview of what we plan to discuss this evening, want to review with you our new affiliation agreement and some of the updates that we'll have in this next affiliation agreement. Then want to share with you about, I hope you all have received the Dr. Irving Fradkin Legacy Award information. We sent that out earlier this week, I believe. And so want to kind of share with you about that process. And sorry, I need to admit folks in. All right. So we'll share with you about that. We kind of have a bit of a new process with that. So want to share that with you. And then we'll have some time for informal sharing, but I also want to share with you some of the upcoming events that we have as well. More people coming, okay. It all. All right. Okay, so let's keep it going. All right, so the affiliation agreement timeline. So by the end of this month, each of your presidents will receive your affiliation packet. Now, I need you to please make sure that your chapter roster is updated. We send those, we're going to email that information out to the president and likely CC the executive officers. So please make sure your roster is current so that we're sending that information, we're emailing that information to the correct individuals. And you'll have that agreement by the end of this month. This affiliation agreement will cover 2024 through 2026. And as you recall from the previous affiliation, the full affiliation agreement process, you'll have exhibits and all of that information kind of outlining various aspects of your affiliation with us. You'll have all of that as well to review, and you'll have until September 30th to review and sign and return the agreement, as well as returning your ACH deposit authorization form. And I'll talk more about that a little bit later. If your Dollars for Scholars has not signed and returned the form by December 31st of this year, we'll have to just go ahead and delete that chapter, your chapter. And the new affiliation agreement will be effective starting January 1st, 2024. So any questions on that? And if you have a question, just raise, come off mute and ask it, because I can't really see the chat right now.
Nicole, this is Sue in Urbandale. Is the fee the same?
The fee is the same, and I'll talk more about that on the next slide. But yes, the fee is the same. Vanessa's having trouble getting in. I've admitted her a couple of times. I'm hoping she'll get in this time. But yes, for 2024, the fee will remain the same. Great question, Sue. Any other questions that I could answer for anyone at this time? Okay, then we will move on to the next slide. Want to give you kind of an overview of the main changes that we have in this next agreement. So you might get a sense of the fact that data privacy and security is very, very important. We had a session with Chris Stendel earlier this year, and he'll be coming back for another session next month in July. But it is just paramount in order for us to comply with both the state as well as federal mandates. We've had to increase some of the security restrictions and data privacy requirements. So you'll notice that within your agreement, as well as some of the other exhibits that are just kind of outlining the importance of that. We've also established some decreases in the time frame for you to, in notifications as well as the affiliation compliance. Just to tell you all, just honestly, one of the great things about being a part of Dollars for Scholars is you get to share and learn and experience insights from other chapters. However, there are some downsides to being a part of Dollars for Scholars when we don't have people who comply with our rules and regulations. For example, who can tell me when the financial report and affiliation fee was due?
March.
March. Yeah, March 31st. Yes. Okay. And that financial report is important to us because we use that information to complete the 990, the group 990 filing that we provide for all of our affiliates. we still have some chapters who have not turned in that financial report. And it hurts other chapters because some chapters, their state requirements require them to submit a 990. And so we can't provide it to all of you all because all of our chapters have not provided us with their financial reports. So when we ask you for these things, we're not trying to be, harsh or anything like that, but we need that information for the benefit of all of our chapters. So, so one of the things that we're going to do, and what you'll notice in the new agreements, is that we are decreasing that time frame for notifications and for you to comply, because we're going to have to, just for the good of all of the chapters, we're going to have to make sure that we really hold the line. And when folks don't get information in, we'll just have to delete that chapter so that we can, provide the information necessary to complete those 990 filings and other things for the benefit of all of our chapters. So that's one of the things that you'll notice. You'll also notice that we are now requiring all of our Dollars for Scholars to file and complete and file an ACH deposit authorization form with Scholarship America. So what that will do is allow some of you from time to time get donations that come to Scholarship America for the benefit of your Dollars for Scholars chapters. Right now, if you don't have an ACH deposit authorization form on file with us, we have to cut you a check, which takes a while because they only cut checks on, certain days of the month, certain times of the month, and that kind of thing. We'd like to get your money to you as quickly as possible. And so that's why we're asking you to make sure you have that ACH deposit authorization. It does not allow us to take any money out of your accounts, okay? It only allows us to transfer the funds that were donated to your Dollars for Scholars directly into your account. And then the other thing that I want to bring to your attention is, although the affiliation fee will not change for 2024, it will be the same fee schedule. We are not going to lock ourselves into that fee schedule being the same for the duration of the 3-year affiliation agreement. We've shared with you a little bit about the plans that Scholarship America has for new technology that will be beneficial to not only our partner solutions clients, but also to the Dollars for Scholars chapters. The goal is to have a large kind of comprehensive system so that your students will be able to seamlessly apply for other scholarships that are available through our partnerships with our clients. So like Amazon and Burger King and Best Buy and some of, all of these clients, and Google. So and as you all know, you have been using the same technology for some time now. We've made some changes as we could, but we're really looking at a complete overhaul of all the technology. And that's going to cost. We're fundraising for that as we speak, but there will be some cost associated with that as well. So I can promise you that your fee will not change or the fee schedule will not change for 2024, but you may see an increase in the fees as we move forward to help subsidize that technology. So let me just stop here. questions, please just come up off mute and ask your question, if there are any. No? All right, great. Well, that's good.
Nicole,
Oh,
Nicole,
yes.
this is Deb. We did have one question in the chat about the March 31st due date, and that will that be required earlier? And so the answer is no. March 31st will remain as the deadline for the financial reports and the dues each year. But instead of getting 60 days to correct any breach at that point, it'll be 30 days. And that'll also go for the roster and the bonding.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you. Because I can't see the chat. But yes, that is absolutely correct. And that it doesn't change. It's been March, the deadline for the financial report and the fees has been March 31st since, I don't know, since I've been employed at Scholarship America. So that's not changing. All right, thank you. All right, well, then we will move on if there are no other questions there.
I just wanted to say, sorry I'm late. Anna Williams from Des Moines. They made me update my Zoom version.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if anyone else had that problem.
Okay, well, I'm
Yes.
glad you're here with us, Anna.
Thank you.
Glad you could join us. And I just want to add one other thing, because in talking about the affiliation fee, I want to let you all know. So back in November, when we had a Dollars for Scholars Connect session, a question was raised. The individual wanted to know, how much do our clients, the Partner Solutions clients, pay? How much are their fees? And so it varies, but I can tell you at the lowest, the minimum fee for our clients is $4,000. Okay. And it can go up to $50,000. So just keep that in mind. Not, we want you to know that truly, because the question came up when I shared with you all that our clients, the client solutions, the Partner Solutions clients really do subsidize the work of the Dollars for Scholars. And so their fees are much higher than yours. And in fact, they just were issued just earlier this year, a fee increase. So just, for your information, wanted to share that with you.
Hello. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi.
Hi.
This is Eileen Hartman from Fairport Parent Dollars for Scholars in upstate New York. I guess I don't know what you're talking about. Can you tell me a little bit more about the $3,000 to $50,000 fee that you're talking about?
The fourth, yes. So Scholarship America essentially has two arms. We have the Dollars for Scholars arm,
Right.
that you all are all a part of. And these are our primarily community-based scholarships. And while we do have some of our chapters that are what we call affiliate providers, they have their own 501c3, and some of them are associated with other agencies. But by and large, most of our chapters are sort of grassroots volunteers raising money.
Right.
Scholarship America also manages scholarships for larger corporations like Amazon and Google, and Best Buy. And these are our partners, Partner Solutions clients, and they pay us a fee for managing their scholarship programs. And so that fee can be anywhere from $4,000 up through and over 50,000.
And how does that impact the volunteer chapters?
So essentially, the reason why we can keep your fees as low as we do is because we're using the money that being raised through the clients, the work we do for the clients, we're using some of that money to defray the cost of my salary and Deb's salary and
I see.
chapter net and all,
Okay.
and some of the other benefits that you all receive.
Okay.
Thank you for asking that question because, excuse me for assuming that everybody knew about that. So thank you for asking that question, Eileen.
Sure. It just didn't connect. We're talking about connecting. It just didn't connect with me as to how that would impact us as a chapter.
Yes. So,
Okay.
and that was Dr. Irving Fradkin's desire. Originally he started Dollars for Scholars, and they were all grassroots, community chapters. And the reason why Scholarship America started, I believe Deb was the first one, the Deere lawn, it was a lawnmower, was it Deere? John Deere Company, wasn't that the first client? Yes. So, and the reason why Scholarship America took that first client on was, again, to just subsidize the work of the Dollars for Scholars chapters. And it's grown since then. And now we're managing the scholarship programs of huge corporations like Amazon and Google.
That's
So,
great.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking that question, Eileen.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
Nicole, do you want to share with them the fact that Mike Nyland shared with us the other day about how much Scholarship America has given out in the 65 years we've been around?
You go ahead and share that.
I just lost the number in my head. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's
4 billion.
okay.
Was it 5 billion?
No,
4
five.
$5 billion.
$5 billion.
Yeah. So between the Dollars for Scholars chapters and our corporate clients, $5 billion in the last 65 years. So you guys are doing a great job.
Great job. And if you take a look on the Scholarship America website, you can see what all the chapters working together, what you all have been able to raise an award for students over the years, specifically the Dollars for Scholars chapters. And even last year, if you look at our numbers, which aren't completely whole, because as I said, we're still missing some financial reports from folks. But I think you'll be very, very impressed by the work that you all are doing and the impact that you all are making. Thank you, Deb. I'm glad you brought that up. Any other questions or comments? All right. Well, if none, we're going to go and talk about the Dr. Irving Fradkin Legacy Award. So, want to encourage each of you all to apply for the Dr. Irving Fradkin Legacy Award. As you may recall, we have 4 awards. The first one is the Student Support Award, and that is an award of $15,000 to either implement or expand on a student support program that your Dollars for Scholars has to support students beyond the scholarship. And so there are a number of things that Dollars for Scholars chapters, programs that Dollars for Scholars chapters have initiated. Nancy is on. Nancy, can you share a little bit? And I know I'm calling you out, but can you share a little bit about your program?
Oh, certainly. Honestly, it was with Nicole encouraged us to apply for the Fradkin Award. We did not receive it the first time, and we spent a zillion hours trying to apply for that. So it was pretty difficult to get people to look at that for a second year. But I would have to say that Nicole kind of nudges you to say, you know what, should continue to apply. And we did. And I think it has been a game changer for our organization. So I would say that it was Sue Quinlan, who is our vice president. what we submitted and has been just amazing, and Nicole was there last night, is that through the Fradkin Award, we have created educational experience internships for our current mentees. And what they're doing is they are working in networking, social media, and those types of things. So I can just give you an example. So our social media person, I mean, we're like old, like we're not into all the latest technology. So what she's done is she created a template for our program and our annual report. She created a QR code that we gave to all of our mentees last night that would give all of our students the resources that they needed. But so what we're doing is we're using former kids that have gone through our program as project coordinators. So they're getting experiences. And then our current students, we call them educational experience scholarships. They're basically volunteering, but then we scholarship them, we send the money through to their college, and they are doing the work of our social media, our networking. And so we're using really the workforce of our students to make things better. It has significantly changed our organization. We have only 12 members of our board. These are younger kids. They know things that we don't know, and they have taken us to a different level. But honestly, if it would not have been for this award, it was a lot of work, but we are in a much better spot because of that. So I would thank Nicole for encouraging us to apply, because we did not want to do it for the second time to get rejected, but it has changed our organization. So I would encourage anyone to apply.
Thank you, Nancy. And this award, I tell you, one of the things that we're really stressing is just the importance of the scholarships are important, but also there are other ways that you can support your students that are very meaningful to them. And so that's why that award is worth so much, that student support award. So that's an award that you can consider. We also have one $10,000 award, and it is for a chapter that is willing to either start or expand on their renewable or multi-year scholarship program. That's for $10,000. And those awards do need to be need-based scholarships. And so you have that opportunity. And then we have two of the $2,500 awards. And those are to provide impactful scholarships of $1,000 or more. And these also need to be need-based scholarships. So I encourage you so that first step is to carefully review each award application to determine which one best fits the goals of your chapter. You want to be realistic and say, if you're not at a level where you're providing scholarships that are $1,000 or more, then you would want to start out with that impactful scholarship award and applying for that one. And one of the things that we've done, and actually, I want to take some time. Sue Mears is on the line with Urbandale Dollars for Scholars, and Sue and her chapter applied for and won one of our impactful scholarship awards. So Sue, would you mind sharing with us?
Sure. So kind of like what you mentioned that, when that information came out, we looked at all the different awards and they all sounded amazing. But we had to critically evaluate and see where we are. And so the Impactful Award fit where we were and are still at this point. And so that it just gave us an opportunity to elevate those need-based scholarships. In the past, we've had, we had one family that had donated a bunch of money specifically for need-based scholarships. and had certain criteria for, 2 students and how much they were going to get. But otherwise, we didn't really have a carve out for need-based scholarships. And just in general, we didn't have a large pool of resources to give out scholarships in general every year. So the goal was to try to give scholarships to as many students as we could and spread that out, which meant, that our average scholarship was around $750. So with this Fradkin money, we were able to specifically request from our donor solicitations an opportunity if they wanted their donation to be for a need-based student, that then we could supplement that donation with Fradkin money and to make sure that that student got $1,000, and to create a need-based scholarship specifically that we really didn't have before. And so we were able to, besides the specific family donation money, we were able to add three students that were able to get $1,000, at least $1,000 need-based scholarship this year. And we didn't even use all of the Fradkin money yet, so we still have some more that we can keep building on that for next year. So I feel like it was, I feel like we're small potatoes compared to a lot of the other chapters out there, but I think it was a good start for us. So we're super appreciative. And I would just add that the review process is super helpful. We submitted that application and I'm struggling to remember the gal's name that did it last year, but it was really, really, really helpful to go through and get.
Christina.
That's it. Yes, thank you. Yeah, it was very helpful. She gave a lot of great guidance. So thank you.
I guess I would like to add that taking the time, and these awards do take a lot of time to apply for these, but I would have to say, I think it's very meaningful to our donors that we have received these national awards from Scholarship America. And we put the time and effort and energy, but I think it's just an affirmation of what we're doing. And when you're a young organization and you're just starting out, it means a lot that we have received these. So I'm very appreciative for Scholarship America for offering these opportunities. It does take time, but at the end of the day, I think it's very worthwhile for your organization.
Thank you both. Are there any other winners on that would like to? Oh, go ahead.
I'm just Rosemary Donovan from Woburn, Massachusetts, Dollars to Scholars. Just wondering, the financial need-based, we don't require financial input at all. So is there a way around that? Because that just seems like another layer that's huge.
No, there's no way around it. No, if that's a requirement.
Blunt and honest, I love that. Thank you. Okay.
And we do have our tech support team more than happy to help you set up your scholarship, the specifically need-based scholarships for those awards, to comply with the Fradkin Impactful Scholarship or the Renewable Scholarship. But yes, that is definitely a requirement.
Nicole, Nicole, I just
Thank
wanted
you.
I wanted to add, we received the renewable grant, I think maybe the first year you guys did it. And what we found, we got together and we had been wanting to do a renewable needs-based award, but so we went into writing the grant with the thought that we didn't care if we won. we wanted to use the grant writing proposal process to help us work out how we wanted to make our program run. So it helped us work, okay, well, what is this going to look like 5 years down the road?
Yes.
How are we going to enhance it? And so we didn't look at it as, we're going to win, we're going to lose. We looked at it as, okay, what do we need to do? And it was a great way to work out our strategy. So I just, I don't know that we're going to be able to apply for any of these this year, but it is really helpful for us was very helpful for us. And for us, the one that we look at is how we can expand our help to our students beyond the financial, but we're not in a place that we can even, entertain that at this point. But down the road, I know that for us, it will be worth the effort, even if we don't, get anything for it. So just wanted to share that because it was a way to force us to think through something we wanted to do.
I have to add, I totally agree. Nicole, you guys forced us to do that. Without applying for that award, we would never, ever, ever have taken this on. So I still thank you, but you did force us to think outside of the box. And I didn't like you at the time because I didn't like doing that, but it did help us look to say, where do we want to go in the future? So I totally agree with that because it was a lot more work, but it was worth it, win or lose. You're right.
So Nancy, I want to ask you, when you say a lot more work in hours, what are you talking?
Days.
Oh, we had to come up, it was a whole different concept. So so when we did this educational experience internships, we had to get an attorney involved. So we had to have it so that it went, through Scholarship America. We had to have project coordinators. We interviewed students. So it was a significant amount of work. But honestly, where we are now, we're so much stronger because these kids are so much smarter than we are. What would take us days takes them 2 hours. So, so we're just using their brain power to do this. But it did take, we're all volunteers. We have like 12 of us. So it was more work, but it was worth it at the end.
Nicole?
Sure.
Yeah, Marcus Brown from the Calvin Coolidge Alumni Association of Washington, D.C. I want to address Sue's comment about small potatoes. When we were giving out scholarships years ago, we started off some between $500 and $1,000, and we would get letters back from the students saying they don't know what they would have done if they hadn't gotten that money. There are so many small things, and several small scholarships add up to a meaningful amount for them. So now this past year, we had budgeted $20,000 for scholarships. We've grown and we can give out a little bit more. But when we weren't able to give out larger scholarships, it meant so much to the students, and it was so good to hear from them.
And that, and this is the goal for all of us, right? We just want to make our Dollars for Scholars stronger. We want you to grow. We want you to expand, because we know that tuition is growing. What the students have to pay, it's a lot more. The other thing is wanting you to, I love that term that Nancy used, think outside of the box. If you haven't, please check out, I believe it was last month's or maybe it was April's In Touch e-newsletter. We interviewed a couple of Dollars for Scholars chapters that have started programs where they're supporting students who are specifically looking at community colleges and vocational technical schools, and are supporting those students through scholarships as well. And some of these students would have never thought that they would be recipients of scholarships. And so, as our world is changing, your communities are changing. One of the people we interviewed for that article, they said, look, I want to have a good plumber in my neighborhood. Like, we want good plumbers in our community. We want good mechanics in our community. So yes, we want to support these students who are going into those fields, as well as the students who are going into the four-year institutions. And so again, I think you all have a great pulse on your communities. And so as you're looking at where the students are going to school and what fields they're interested in, you can help to pivot your scholarship program so that you're truly meeting the needs of your students. So thank you. Yes, I
Lincoln Heights
Yeah.
Scholars for Scholars. Just want to let you know too that our goal this year, this coming year, is to raise all of our scholarships to 1,500, and also to increase the the renewable scholarships as well, to come, to help these kids who are, a lot of them are first in their families to go to college. A lot of them are almost all of them are minorities, but we've also established 2 scholarships specifically for those kids who are going to community colleges. And one exciting things that we're talking about doing is trying to establish another scholarship for students who graduated college and want to go on to grad school, not just Lincoln Heights Dollars for Scholars recipients, but any kid in the, we're really opening it up, planning on opening it up. So it's, we applied last year. We did spend a lot of time on it, and it was the funding for the kids who were, proving that they were in need. So we are going to be, we are in the process of revisiting that to make sure that we comply with that and move forward, because all of our kids are in financial need. There's no, it's like I said, almost all of them are first in their family to graduate high school. Almost all of them receive help with their food in high school to receive, they're all Title I schools. So a lot going on. So thank you.
Thank you, Gene. And we're going to hear from Gene a little bit later because he has some other exciting things going on that we want him to share with you. But Eileen, I think you were going to say something as well.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much. We have an entirely different demographic, I think, than the gentleman who was just speaking. We have not done needs-based scholarships. When you talk, what would you describe as 1 or 2 points of a difference in the application process for needs-based as opposed to a normal application? You have to have the FAFSA information probably. And what else might there be that you would need to have for needs-based scholarships?
Yes, so we have a process where, yes, the students can share that information and they can share their earned the family expectation, the expected family contribution, or the
Okay.
EFC,
Okay.
that kind of information, so that you're aware of how much, and it's a number. It's not a dollar amount. It'll calculate a number, and
Okay.
in terms of how much the family can contribute
Okay.
to this student's education.
Okay, and that's part of the service that Scholarship America provides in the application process.
In the application process, that information you'll be able to ask the student for that information. And again, our technical support team can help you kind of look at ways to do that.
The other thing,
Best suit your students.
The other thing, Nicole, one of the things just to share with other people is that we have a separate scholarship category. I can't remember what it's the name of it right now, but we built some custom questions, and we using United Way's Alice project, which takes a look at the cost of living if someone has children below the age of 5, because childcare is of course added in. So we've actually supplemented what some of the things that are already in ChapterNet, but we found that by using, the United Way in Connecticut is fairly specific about the Alice project, but that there are different components, and what they do is calculate cost of living by the area you're in. And you had mentioned that you were in a different, demographic. So the cost of living in, one maybe very small Midwestern state is different from on the East Coast and one of the high. So it helps kind of give a better, more realistic picture for your area. Sorry, I'm not being very articulate, but that's something else you can look into. And, again, the folks helped us set it up way back when, so we found it useful.
Thank you for sharing that, Trinity. Thank you so much. Jean, go ahead.
There's one other thing too that we discovered in looking at this, that students can now upload their student aid report, which is filled out as part of their FAFSA. And this automatically is populated or put into documents on the scholarship application. We haven't utilized it totally, but it's there, and we've been taking a look at that as well. So that's good information about the
So that's
family
right.
and the student.
That's right on the Dollars for Scholars application. They upload their FAFSA.
Yes.
Because we don't do the financial aspect of it. And so that's intriguing. Like, is it simple? Is it a simple task, or is it cumbersome?
Yes. Very simple.
If they've completed their FAFSA, it's very simple. It's it's like 2 or 3 lines that pretty much, I think all of it is what they have to do is insert their FAFSA number. And I think a lot of it is filled out
Determined.
as long as they've completed the FAFSA application. Am I correct? I'm kind of new to this, so.
Yes. Vanessa, were you going to share?
Yes, because thank you. Hi, Nicole. It's good to see you
thanks for
again.
joining us.
And good evening, everybody. Actually, I noticed that this year we just my board, we just reviewed the applicants last night, and so we had a very lengthy meeting. And yes, we noticed about the FAFSA and the EFC, what is it? The family the estimated family contribution. And so it kind of did help. It did help us and our determination on what we would award students. I do have a couple of questions, and actually, Jean, you had mentioned this about one of our questions is that we have candidates or applicants asking about attending graduate school and could they apply for a scholarship through our program. And so we're having this debate or discussion now, and we really didn't have an answer. We don't have an answer. So I was kind of glad to hear when Jean had mentioned something about expanding the program. So this is something that we can do, expand it, where we can offer scholarships for students to go on for an advanced degree.
You can, you absolutely can. Your basic scholarships do need to be for folks that are going to post-secondary, but yes, you may expand your program.
Okay.
We have no qualms with that. The important thing though to remember is, should your board vote on and decide to do this, make sure you designate that information in your awards policy. You know, that you want to make sure you track that you have that information there.
That's exactly what we said. That's why we really haven't what you just said, that's exactly what we had come to that conclusion last night, but we figured we better run this by like you and get some additional information. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Nicole,
Nicole,
I'm sorry,
sorry.
my visual doesn't show. This is Holly from Arlington, Washington. Is we have been giving to college students for several years. And it was just, we had several donors that wanted to give to college students versus high school students. So we have been doing that, and it's very successful. And it's exciting because we have some of our students who have received scholarships as high school recipients and then went on and applied when they were in college. So that was really special.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Nicole.
Hi.
Hi, Dorothy Tripp from Monomoy Dollars for Scholars on Cape Cod. We've been doing continuing ed for over 15 years, and we started it because of monies that the kids did not pick up. And I'm wondering if any, and it's been very successful, and as people donate, they've also been able to have the choice, they can give to the graduates or they can give to continuing ed. This year we gave 31 candidates continuing ed, and we just awarded 51 scholarships to high school students. So my question is to the group of you, and maybe I'm out of line here, but do you have a problem with kids actually picking up their scholarships, getting in touch with you? No.
We do. We have, every year we have kids that we give them 2 years to use their scholarship, and every year we put money back into the general fund because kids have not accepted their scholarships.
And that's how our continuing ed started. But we also have a deferral program, which was very handy during COVID. But this year we've really had a big problem with kids not picking up their scholarships. So I'm wondering if it's because of the socialization that they didn't get through COVID, or do you talk to kids through email? We've tried email, we've tried the counselor at the high school getting in touch with the parents. But I know all the kids want to do is text.
Yeah.
I do
And
know
that's a problem.
I do know that some Dollars for Scholars do communicate with their students specifically through text, because they know that's one of the better ways to reach them.
And we're working with over almost 100 and some odd kids. I'm sure everybody else is too. That's a lot of texting.
Yeah. Well, you can also, and again, there's a fee to this, but there you could also look at, there are apps that you can purchase that provide you with, just kind of a texting. You can send one text out to all the students, like as a reminder. Some of those, and the name of the app is escaping me right now. But when I send the follow-up email, I will put that in there. But they have, I think it's free up to a certain amount. And then if you go over that amount, there's a cost associated with it. And the name of it is escaping me, but I'll look that up and let you know.
I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
One of the, Anna Williams from Des Moines, one of the things that we have been doing is we do use the email process that goes through the Dollars for Scholars. But several years ago, I had asked for a program where we could get a report with the parents' emails. And so every time I send a message to the students, I send another message to the parents, just letting them know I've just communicated with your student. Can you help us? With the reminders, and when we have our awards presentation, and when it's time to pick up the checks, I also include the message, or I send another message so that the parents see that the students have been contacted. And that's really been helpful to always be able to include those parents on those messages that are going to the students.
That's a great idea.
Thank you.
That's great. I'm sure those parents nudge those students right along, don't they?
You can tell.
Nicole.
Yes.
We had that problem. We had the very same problem. And yes, the parents, you do have to call in the parents or the grandparents and solicit their help, because we have been reaching out to students, and we don't give out as many as awards as I'm hearing from some of the others, but it is a challenge. One, it's a challenge that we have to basically beg to find students to apply for the scholarships. That's bad enough. But then when we do get some students who do submit their application, or they don't actually complete everything, then we have to keep following up with them to, we're missing something. We're missing the transcript. We're missing the reference, or something is missing, and we have to contact the parents or the grandparents.
At Southeast Polk, Robin Norris, we had a problem with this. And one of the things that we started probably 3 or 4 years ago was during scholarship award night, not only do we print all the information, the 3 things that the kids have to do is to write their thank you, to send in the transcript, and to go into the system and accept their award. And so we just started mentioning it directly. And of course, parents are throughout the audience. And so the students not only hear it, the parents do, and it's written in the booklet that they receive for the evening. And so I would say we're doing much better. We may have 3 or 4 out of the 250 scholarships that are awarded, but that has worked for us. And in answer to the electronic, we have gone solely to text. So kids just take a photo of their thank you note to the sponsor of their scholarship, and they send that to our treasurer. They take a photo of their schedule for the next year from the university and send that to the treasurer. So everything is electronic by text. And I think that that has helped improve the speed at which they return things.
Excuse me.
Robin, is there a text system that you use? This is Nancy Robb from Excel Beyond.
No, we don't use a system. I think that
Okay.
they're directly given the treasurer's email and phone number, and they can choose what they want to do.
Okay.
Robin, excuse me, do you give scholarships out for first term?
Yes, we
Okay.
split their scholarship into the first semester and second semester, and it goes, somebody said pick up checks. We don't give checks to students.
We don't
It-
either.
Yeah, it goes directly to the university.
Yeah, ours is the
That's
only through
fair.
second semester only, so that's been the problem, so. Okay, thank you.
Our
I guess I'd have
treasurer
to
always sends the checks directly to the college that the student
Right,
designates.
Mhm. And some do that, and then some make the check out to the school, but they
Mm.
actually give the check to the student to take to school with them. But
Mhm.
as long as the check is made out to the school for benefit of the student, yeah, that's
One-
fine.
One thing
We've
you have to
found
be
that-
careful of.
We've found that sometimes they accept their scholarship with one school, and we go ahead and make the check payable to that school, and then when they actually go to pick up the check, they've changed schools. And so we have to
require
redo the
us
check,
in-
so we have the students, our recipients sign for the checks and pick them up.
Our students have to send us a copy of their unpaid tuition bill, and we send that check directly to the school. And that eliminates that, because some of the kids we've had, they accept it under they're going to one college, and then in the end, they go to a different college. So once we get that unpaid tuition bill sent to us by email, we, create a check and send it to the school itself.
Ah.
We ask for the student's ID, college ID, and that is included on the check sent to the college.
Mhm.
Me too. Yeah.
I like the idea of the unpaid tuition bill because some students, we found this past year, a student got a full ride. And when you send a scholarship check to the school, what the school does, they'll put it in a fund and it'll go to someone else if they didn't even intend it to. So you've got to be
Right.
real careful. But I really like that idea. And this is a great thing I learned tonight about getting the unpaid tuition bill. Then you can avoid that from happening.
Mhm.
Nicole? Yes.
I may be wrong on this, but at least what we've found here in Indiana, we send it directly to the school.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter whether it's private or public,
Mhm.
but if the kid doesn't enroll there, they mail the check back to us.
Right.
And it's the kid's responsibility to let us know that they've changed schools, and when they do, then we'll send it to that school. And it takes very little time to process all that.
Mhm.
I agree.
Nicole.
Ditto.
I'm just a little
Nicole.
leery of giving a kid a piece of paper. It's just so much simpler just to mail it directly. And we've
Mhm.
made enough contacts with the schools in the state of
Right.
Indiana that they know that we're legit. And some of the bursars we know personally now, so it's not very hard to work with them.
Mhm.
Thank you, Vivian. Was someone else?
Oh, yes, Vanessa again. We've had that situation happen to us a couple of times where students, they, on their application, they said they were applying to one school. And then when the school year started, they transferred or they didn't even attend that school. And so the money was sent directly to the school. The problem that we had with one school was we couldn't get the money back. I mean, it took almost a year for the school to send the money back to us.
Wow.
So I really like that suggestion about a copy of the unpaid tuition bill. And I am going to share that information.
Well, see you all, and this is what Dollars for Scholars Connect is all about, right? You sharing and learning from each other. The other place, and I know we are over time, so please forgive me, just give me a few more minutes with you, if you would, please. The other place that you can share is in our private Dollars for Scholars Volunteer Network Facebook group. Dollars for Scholars chapters post questions there and get feedback from other chapters. And so please keep that in mind as well, as a place to ask your questions, get feedback, share suggestions with one another. And then as you can see here, just the various tips with regard to the Dr. Irving Fradkin Legacy Award. I will tell you, if you would like for me to review your application, I'll need you to get that application to me by September 1st. So you're going to submit your draft application to Dollars for Scholars at scholarshipamerica.org to arrange for a review by September the 1st. And then that way we can review it, share with you any suggestions, and then you can submit your application by the September 30th deadline. The applications are a little bit different this year. We're using Microsoft Forms. And so what we're asking you to do, because what we found is that many Dollars for Scholars, which we encourage you to do, they work on this as a team. And so what you'll do is you will have access to a PDF of the full application. You and your colleagues can discuss which award you want to apply for, and you may assign different members of your board different sections of the application. That way you divide up the work and then you can come back, discuss, review before actually submitting the final form, which is a Microsoft form. And so you can actually, work on that application. And then once you're ready to submit, you can do that through the Microsoft form. So again, if you have questions, Dollars for Scholars at scholarshipamerica.org. Just send a quick email. You can call our technical support line, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions, because this is a kind of new way of doing things, but we hope that it will be helpful in giving you all a chance to really explore what award you want to apply for, work together as a group to complete the application before you have one person to submit it on behalf of your chapter.
Do you have a link that would get us to the PDF?
So we did. So we sent out a, no, did it go out yet? Yes,
Nope.
that did go out. So yes, there's a landing page. And on that landing page, you'll see there are links to each of the awards. And if you click the link, you'll also be able to download the PDF for that specific award that you want to apply for.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are you sending the landing page to the Fradkin Award, not to Scholarship America?
Correct. There's the landing page to the Fradkin Award. And that was sent out, I believe it was Tuesday. I believe that went out on Tuesday.
Who did it come from?
It came from Dollars for Scholars at scholarshipamerica.org. So you might want to add that to your safe senders list. if it's not there. We'll also have a link to that landing page through our ChapterNet. So your administrative site in ChapterNet, that homepage, there'll be a link to the Fradkin Legacy Award landing page.
Nicole,
I would encourage anyone to have it reviewed by Scholarship America. It has been really valuable input before we submitted our final award. So I definitely would encourage that.
Rosemary?
Yep, just on another topic, Nicole, I had asked my assistant principal what they use as a text message, and it's the WhatsApp or Snapchat is what we use in Woburn to text all the students. I don't know if that's the same that you use.
This is a different one from what I'm thinking of, but thank you for sharing that, because again, we want to give people options.
Yeah, we need options. Sure.
Group Me is good as well.
Okay, Group Me is another one. All right. Well, so Jean, can you spare, and I know we're over time, so if some of you all have to sign off, want to give you some highlights of some of the things that are coming up, and then want to give Jean an opportunity to share one of the resources that he's used in affiliate resources, because again, we want you all we have those resources there and we want you to make the most of them. But let me just quickly, before we'll close out with Jean, but want to quickly share with you the upcoming session. So we'll have a special session with our president and CEO, Mike Nyland, on the 29th of this month. And he's going to be sharing more with you about Scholarship America's North Star goal, and which is just a wonderful goal to truly make sure that we are supporting the students who need our scholarships, need our support the most. So we'll have that session with Mike Nyland. In July, we'll have another security session, technology security awareness session. I don't know how many of you know what smishing, vishing, and phishing is, but if you've not heard those terms before, we need you to know those terms. And so we're going to be reviewing that with Chris Stendel, our technology expert here at Scholarship America. He'll be back with us to share along those lines. And then in August, our VP of Development will be joining us. We don't have a date set for that yet, but she's going to help you all kind of work through some planned giving options to share with your donors. So that'll be coming up in August. So thank you all for joining us. Jean, can you take us out by sharing one of the tools that you use that you found in the Affiliate Resource Center?
Yes, greetings to Iowa, my home state. This is Gene Snook with Lincoln Heights Dollars for Scholars. We're celebrating our 35th anniversary. We have discovered a treasure trove of resources, and one of those we found was the agreement to establish an endowed scholarship fund. It was the first time we've actually done it with a specific donor. And this donor gave us $30,000, which we've established a $1,500 a year scholarship. And where the endowment agreement came in, using the template, it gave us a great place of starting with as far as the actual agreement. But also very important to this was the restrictions. So, and this is, we were able to send it to, to the donor to review, but we went ahead and included in the restrictions, everything spelling out exactly what was expected of the scholarship, what was expected of the donor, the what ifs, and it just made everything so smooth, and there's just no doubts as far as what happened. But I'm finding more and more that there are just more things in the scholarship, our
affiliate resource.
I drew a blank. Thank you. Thanks, Nicole. Just
So
searching
Jean,
for
where
things.
is this? So where can I find this?
This would be under the, help me, Nicole.
Affiliate resources in ChapterNet. And
So
let
if
me
you-
just give you a quick tip for searching for things in affiliate resources, because there's so much information there. It can be a bit unwieldy, I will admit that. But if there's a specific something that you're looking for, so like you want to look at endowed scholarships, just go to that name field in affiliate resources and start
Okay.
typing in the word
Endow.
endow, and
Okay.
it'll bring up the resources there.
And if it doesn't come up the first time, do not be afraid to kind of come up with different variations, because we've done that sometimes where it is a little unwielding at times as far as trying to find the right documents. And but it was so helpful for us to come up with this plan, and it was very much appreciated. So
So Jean, what is your number? We can contact you if we can't navigate this.
Always contact the support team too.
Okay.
Call 911.
Okay, I'll ask for a lifeline.
But listen, I don't know if you all missed what the first part of what Jean said. They're celebrating 35 years
know,
of supporting students. So great round of applause for you, Jean.
And there's a lot of people that are on the board that were there for the beginning. So it is just, we're having a 35th anniversary celebration, July 22nd. You're all invited if you buy a ticket. And we are, we've got some sponsors, and so.
How much are the tickets, Jean?
75 for adults, 25 for children.
And so where are you located again?
It's going to be at the War Memorial Building in you can see it at the War Memorial Building in South Pasadena, and open bar and catered hors d'oeuvres and live music.
Oh
So,
Lord.
Sounds like fun.
All right.
it's going to be a great time for everybody.
Sounds like fun. I do have to leave. I'm sorry, everybody.
Oh,
Thank
no,
you so
no
much.
problem. Thank you all so much for joining
Nicole,
us.
can I ask one quick question? I'm sorry. I know.
Sure. Mhm. And if you have to leave, please go ahead and leave. I know I've kept you over, so go ahead. Thank you.
We have a very large population of our students, for whatever reason, do not hit the accept all button. And in awarding purposes, that's a nightmare for us because it restricts, what they're eligible for. We have a lot of endowments that have specific criteria and all of that stuff. Is there a way around, like, can we just accept all for them? Like, it just feels like there were 5 students that didn't accept at the end any of it. So their application was it wasn't even complete at all. So they would get no scholarship, but we overrode that and gave them the lowest amount that we provide. But it just feels like that accept all button is a button that's missed, even though we put it in the instructions and all of that. It's not intuitive. I don't believe it's intuitive. It's not a big red button that says accept all, and a lot of students miss it. Is that common for everybody? Or
I would totally agree with that. I mean, some of our kids were mortified. They did not hit that button. It's out. They don't get a scholarship.
Yeah,
we awarded our kids like the lowest scholarship because we do quartiles, and it's upsetting to the parents because those kids would have gotten the highest scholarship, and because they didn't hit the button.
Right.
Are you saying submit all or accept all?
Submit. Submit.
If I can jump in, yes, there is a way around that. I don't know how to do it without following the instructions from the help desk, but yes.
And that's what I was going to suggest. talk to our technical support specialists. They can help you. That they're more than happy to help you, because I do want you to be very careful about just submitting the scholarships, or kind of force fitting your students in.
Right.
You can get in trouble with that, because if you neglect to do it for one, right? And a parent says, oh, well, but
Well, this year that actually was, I went into the high school and I called the students down that hadn't finished their applications. And we went into the library and I fed them all of, please do this, do that, do that. There were 5 students that we did not identify. And those 5 students didn't get that support that I gave the other students. And that was upsetting to the parents. Like, you didn't call my child down, but you called 40 other kids down, but not my child. And so they didn't get the scholarship and the other kids did. And it was an unfair advantage. Like, I gave those other kids an unfair advantage. I don't want to do that, but I want to give as many kids as possible
A scholarship.
the scholarship. That's what we're here for, to give the money to these kids who need the money.
Sure.
And it feels uncomfortable when a kid has filled out the application completely. And the
Right.
only thing
That's
that
it.
they do is hit that one button. It's not intuitive. I wish that the application itself could be changed. So that's my suggestion.
Well,
Change the application so that there's this big red button at the end that says
Submit all.
like with
Just like
arrows
else.
and whatever that says do that, because it's in the middle. It's not intuitive. I don't believe, my personal.
I agree. Nicole, is there a way that rather than all of us, I think it is an issue because we definitely had students. Can you look into that and see if we can find a solution for all of us rather than all of us calling in?
So
Yeah, because one thing I want to add is the kids think they have submitted. They think.
I know, they
They
do.
don't believe they have.
So we have, every year we have, at least a quarter of our kids do not finish because of that. They do not.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
what I will do is have our tech support folks to respond. And so when we send out the information from this meeting, the PowerPoint and the recording, I'll have them address this, because I will tell you, we will not likely make the change of having a big red submit button just at this point, because the enhancements, as you all know, we do enhancements each year. Our enhancements this year have to focus on some of those security issues. So data privacy and security, and making sure the students know what they are applying for, because they're sharing PII. We have to make it crystal clear to them in order for us to comply with some of the new mandates that have come out. Make it crystal.
I'm just gonna give you an example. We've had our conversation. We haven't been with Dollars for Scholars for a long time, but we've been a scholarship committee for 100 years. We are thinking of coming out of Dollars for Scholars and doing our own application, because it's concerning that submit button is hidden. So it doesn't feel intuitive. And I feel like it's a simple fix, or it should be a simple fix. It shouldn't be that challenging to put it at the very end. It's like you get to the end and it's up in the up top. It's not intuitive. And I feel like it shouldn't have anything to do with security. They're still hitting the same button. It's just putting it in a place that's better accessible to them.
Sure. So what I'm telling you is that we're not at this point. And so I truly understand you need to do what's in the best interest of your students. But at this point, we're not making that change, because what we're trying to do as an organization is overhaul the entire system, the entire technology system, because it's dated and it's not intuitive. And
so
we
you think
know
next year's application might be different?
It won't be next year.
Okay.
Again, this is a complete and utter overhaul that we're talking about.
That's in
Nicole,
the future. That's at least that gives us hope that it might be better.
Nicole,
You
could
know,
I add
who
one
did-
thing
who-
for Rosemary's group?
Sure, Vivian.
I also work with the Putnam County Community Foundation, and they have a similar application. And every one of these applications that you do online is going to have some little nuance that some kid or some kids are going to miss. What I have found best is to create, you can, through the affiliate resources and through ChapterNet, you can create a list of all of the kids who have started an application but haven't finished. And if you post that on a weekly or monthly or daily, however you want to do it, and give it and send it to your guidance department, and or like we're a relatively small school, so our senior English teacher has all of our high school seniors, and she posts that in her classroom. And then at least the day, if not 2 days before the thing is due, I look at that list of whoever has started, and I go down and we get them all.
So that's what we did this year, and we missed because whatever list we ran, these 5 kids that didn't hit submit, had completed the entire application, but didn't hit the submit button. We may have run the wrong list.
I was gonna say, you probably made the wrong run because
We
those.
did do that, and we called all of those kids down and we handed them, sat with them and did the applications, but 5 kids.
I would suggest one more avenue, and then I'll buzz off. If you have whoever is in charge of calling people down or something like that, if you make an announcement as if there's anybody else that hasn't been called, come to the library now and take care of that. And that way, at least you've given them a chance to say, hey, if you're paying attention,
you didn't get,
then that's on you. But I'm an old retired middle school principal.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you, I've got a big heart, I think. Okay. But I'm to the point where I'm really tired of parents covering for the kids all the time.
Yep.
And I know that there are parents out there that fill the applications out, which is
100%.
another reason why we interview our kids.
You interview all of your kids?
Yeah. Huh?
You interview?
Yeah, we do. Everybody
wow.
that's completed a complete application, we do.
We do
Sometimes
too.
it's very short, if it's a very short one, but the questions are pertinent that it's pretty easy to tell if the kids filled it out or the parents filled it out.
But what difference does it make? Would you would still?
We put that into our scoring mechanism.
Oh, wow.
We use the scores from ChapterNet, but then I'm giving away a hit. I've got every scholarship, it's all scored differently because of the different restrictions and the different things that people want, whether it's need or merit or whether it's high GPA or participant activities and stuff. But we set a total point number, so it all comes out the same at 200. And for our applications, we have 160 points that comes off of ChapterNet and 40 points comes off the interview. And I have 5 people do the interview. So they've all got 8 points apiece that they can rank the kids. And then we throw that in and gives us our point totals. It's really pretty simple.
How many students are you talking?
We range somewhere between 20 and 30. It depends on the year as to how many we interview.
Okay, that's fine.
Are you still able to keep your selections anonymous?
Well, the scoring is all anonymous, and the interview team is also the selection team. And so they don't see the scoring on ChapterNet from ChapterNet until we've put in the scoring for the interviews, and then they see the total score. And I've got it on a spreadsheet. So that each of our 38 scholarships, the scores go in there. And if we would need to look at a subset of a particular, like if we get a I, we can look at, okay, do we want to look at their goals essay, Do we want to look at their GPA? What do we want to look? What's the determining factor to break a tie? But it's to award those 38 scholarships, we can do it in 30 minutes. And it doesn't really matter about the kid's name. It's based on the scoring. And so we try to be as objective as we can, because being in a small town where everybody knows everybody and half of them are related to each other, we've been very successful with that, of not having complaints over who got what.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, listen, thank you all. I apologize for the lateness of the hour, but it sounds like we've gotten some great information. So I appreciate you all participating. Please mark your calendars for the 29th of this month. You'll not want to miss Mike Nyland coming to share with us. So thank you again.
Thank
Have
you,
a
Nicole.
good evening. This has been recorded, and we'll send out the video, and we'll also post it on affiliate resources. And you ladies enjoy that wine. Raise the glass for me.
Thanks, Nicole. Good
Thanks
job
a
as
lot,
always.
Nicole. Great job.
Nicole,
you.
Nicole.
Good
Did I
night.
lose her?
Good night.
Did she leave?
Thanks, Nicole.
You're
Good
welcome.
Oh,
night.
did she leave already? Nicole,
I'm
it's okay. It's Tasia from New Jersey. Will we need to register for all the other sessions for the 29th and for the 13th?
Yeah, so we'll send
Okay.
out the invitation for the session on the 29th will come out tomorrow. We'll be emailing that out to you tomorrow. And then we'll be emailing the other ones out, the other invitations at a later date.
Okay, thank you so much. Tonight was great. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you for participating. Have a
Bye.
good evening,
Good night.
everyone. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Night.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.